it going, everybody? So, I have not done a video on the Mercedes 108 in a very long time, and I felt that I was overdue to do a video on it. The car is doing wonderful, as usual. I still drive it regularly, and I felt that I've been getting a couple of emails and messages in regards to the 108, and if it would make a good daily, its reliability, and things to prolong its longevity. We gotta keep in mind this car is more than 60 years old, and often the term daily driver and a 60-year-old car, well, doesn't really go hand in hand. However, I think if I kind of covered some of the valid points of what to do and to look for in a 108 to prolong that longevity, well, it might help the selection of having one of these in your collection of cars. So let's begin, if you haven't seen any of my previous videos, what this car is, what it's about, and some info on it. So this is a 1968 Mercedes W108 250 SE. There's a multitude of variants of the 108 series. 1965 to I think about 1970 was the time frame. This is a 2.5 liter inline six. They had the 3.5 liter V8, 4.5, and the holy grail, the 6.3. Now, when it comes to the term daily driver and reliability, most would think Mercedes is not the best choice. And that's 50-50. I think some of the newer ones, build quality is so-so. This is an era when Mercedes truly hand-built and built some of the greatest cars in the world. It also includes the 123 series. I think the 1960s to the mid-90s was a realm of Mercedes engineering that we'll never see again in our lifetime. So this being nearly 60 years old plus, it is a wonderful car. And now I've been driving this car 14 years, and when someone asks, has it been reliable? It has been incredible. In fact, it has actually never left me stranded, ever. Now, I don't daily this everywhere. I don't put 100,000 miles on this. I do not drive it in adverse weather, wet, snow, any of that. This is a fair weather only vehicle, and that is more to contribute to rust, which these are prone to. But from a mechanical standpoint, this actually has gone beyond what I expected in its reliability. Actually completely surpassed that. When I first obtained the ability to drive this car, I was 50-50 on whether it was going to be reliable or break down all the time. It has never broke down on me. In fact, maintenance wise, it has been very low comparative to other vehicles that I've owned. And yet its driving experience that it yields back to the operator is something that no other car has given me. It is an amazing car to drive on the highway, in the city. And the best part is how much people love this car. They really admire this car. Out of all the vehicles that I've driven around, this car people really admire. So let's go into the detail. Are these reliable? And what can you do to make these reliable and continue their longevity on the road? Yes, they're incredibly reliable. This is, like I said, a 2.5 inline six. It's fuel injected, mechanical fuel injected. You could also get a carbureted version. I'll do a quick walk around on this so you can see truly how amazing the body lines are on this car. This is arguably one of my favorite eras of Mercedes for many reasons. One, they're still obtainable. They're not like pagoda prices. They're very useful. You can haul all your friends in the vehicle, and they're probably one of my favorite vehicles when it comes to ease of working on. Now, you can tell that it is a big car. We're not talking a small vehicle. This takes up a lot of garage space. It's huge. I also would not want to get hit by this car. So mechanically, I'm gonna pop the hood so you can kind of get a Now keep in mind, I apologize, It is dirty. I keep the outside clean, but I don't really spray the engine down per se. So it is a little dirty. This is a mechanically injected 2.5 inline 6 gasoline, not a diesel. It is gasoline, but it's simple. It's easy to work on. Now, when it comes to keeping these on the road and keeping them happy, number one, oil changes are an absolute necessity. Every 3,000 miles, no excuses. And I'll show you what oil I use. 3,000 miles, change the oil in these cars often and frequently, because that will contribute to the longevity of these. Do not run synthetic. Some people would beg to differ. I run Shell Rotella 1540 heavy duty diesel oil, and I am no way product placement, sponsored, or any of that. I swear by this stuff in almost all my vehicles. It is cheap, it is incredible oil, has high zinc content. These engines love it. Every 3,000 miles, run this oil. Change it often. Filter, it's easy to change the oil on these. The motors love frequent oil changes. This is a car that you do it frequently. This has a mechanical fuel injection. If you're looking at buying one of these, you can get carbureted or mechanically injected. I like both, but I prefer mechanical fuel injection. However, there's a catch. Do not buy a non-running mechanically fuel injected car if you are looking for one, because sometimes getting the mechanical fuel injection dialed in, if they have issues not running, you could be chasing up a hill with issues. Make sure it runs and it is tuned. Tuning these can be a little bit of a pain with the injection system. It's a dying art. So if you know a mechanic that can really dial these in, hold on to them, and hold on to them very tight, because this isn't a car that you can go down to a Mercedes dealership and have them look at it, work on it, get parts for it. Carbureted is easier to tune, but can be more temperamental in my opinion. I have a friend with a carbureted 250. He's dealing with issues tuning it. He can't go up to the mountains all the time, or run it. It's all about preference. If you don't mind carbureted, by all means. I prefer the mechanical fuel injection. It is great for dailing. I've all the years of owning this, it has never given me any issues whatsoever. That in mind, another thing, and this is once again not a product placement, but stuff I use in a lot of vehicles. Marvel Mystery Oil. I swear by it. A lot of pilots also swear by it. I run this stuff in my aircraft. It is wonderful. It has been around for the last 110 years or whatever, or 100 years, 1923. It is great. It lubricates a lot of the components in a fueling system where today's fuels really break down rubber components and lines, and just, it's harsh. That stuff helps a lot with the mechanicals and just lubricating the fuel system. So I really like that, especially in these older cars. Rubber components break down on these. Keep that in mind. This car is more than half a century old. Stuff breaks when it comes to rubber components. Change that often. Rubber fuel lines, suspension components, stuff wears out. That is what is to be expected. It's nothing out of the norm. This car has more than surpassed my expectations when it came to reliability in a vehicle. And we're not talking about a brief bit of ownership. We're talking 14 years, and it always starts, it always takes me places. Maintenance wise, valve adjustments, do those every 6,000 to 10,000 miles, depending on how harsh you drive it. Transmission service, do never flush these transmissions, but drain and replenish and change the filter out every 25,000 miles. The rear differential is another component to change the fluid out. These, when it comes to suspension, some variants had air suspension or hydraulic suspension. Some have a pneumatic compensator in the back. Let me see if I can get a video of it. See that spring right above the diff? This has been changed out to a spring. Why that is because that is a common failure point on these. When they go out, they'll sag, doesn't handle right, it'll clunk. It's been updated with the spring. No more headaches. So if you are looking at one of these, look at that. Make sure it's been updated, or find what place that can rebuild them. But that is becoming a more difficult task to find. Parts are hard to find for these now. They're not impossible, but they're getting hard. Stuff like grills, bumpers, Any of the trim pieces, mechanical pieces, they're getting more difficult. Keep that in mind. If you are planning on daily driving one of these, they're great dailies, but going 85 miles an hour on the highway, you are going to wear these out much quicker. These are geared to be high revving, high RPM to make the most amount of power. 4,500 RPM on an inline six for 100,000 miles, it's going to wear out much faster than something else that's geared differently. I don't run this hard. I don't sit there and peg this at 80 miles an hour. I baby this car to some degree, and I believe that that has contributed to it being very reliable and lasting this long. Things such as this has power windows. Regulators go out. Consider that. Hello, Nugget. You know, obviously, interior pieces. This isn't something that you can go to O'Reilly's and get parts for and have it fixed up. You got to hunt some of these parts down. Consider that. Really, they're incredibly reliable cars. They really are a test of time when a true German engineering and quality were combined in a vehicle. And they just look utterly amazing when you stare at this vehicle. I mean, just there's nothing that compares to the body lines, at least in my opinion. I could talk about it forever. If you are looking for one, find one that is rust-free. Do not drive these in adverse weather conditions. That will literally contribute to its demise. These rust very quickly. I never drive this in wet conditions. Winter, rain, snow, salt, magnesium chloride are all massive killers of these. These will rust faster than any other vehicle that you can find. Unfortunately, it's just a time when metal and quality of metal in reaction to wet, it failed. These will rust. This is a completely rust-free vehicle, and I'm going to keep it that way, so I'm very, very conscious about the weather conditions that I drive this in. If it rains or it's going to rain, it stays inside. Windshields, expensive, $1,000 plus, consider that. Parts are not, some parts are affordable, other parts are absurd. It's a Mercedes Benz. But when it comes to true mechanical build quality on something that's more than half a century old, and if I was to say I'm going to drive this 3 hours, 400 miles away, it would make it there and get me back. Would I drive this to California tomorrow? Well, yes, it would make it to California tomorrow, but this isn't my first choice in a vehicle to go that far of a distance. That is where something like a W123 diesel would surpass this in those really long road trip hauls. Of course, this would do it. No doubt about it. And it would get you there and everything, but I feel that's where a 123 diesel, you're also talking 20 years newer, really excels in that highway, high-speed cruise. It's built for that Autobahn. This was built to go fast, but this was also built to Sunday, load up the family, go get some breakfast. It's beautiful out, everybody's smiling. This is a definition of a driver's classic that is great for in the city and highway. And relative price range also is to consider. These are going up. These aren't pagoda prices, they're still obtainable. Find a nice one. Find one that runs and rides. If you find a non-running one, be mindful that you need to have some mechanical knowledge. Finding somebody to work on one of these is becoming more difficult as time goes on. Find a good mechanic that's willing to work on these, find parts for you, and hold on to them tightly because it'll be your best friend. I'm not saying that it's always going to be in the shop, but when it does, be mindful of what you need to do to get it fixed, running, and fixed correctly. Stuff like lubricating suspension components, wheel bearings, brakes are very simple. This has disc brakes, drums in the rear. Actually, I'm trying to remember if it might actually have discs in the rear. I think it's drums in the rear. All those are still obtainable. Brake systems on these are great. They're not ABS. Safety is something to consider. No airbags. Seat belts are good, but not amazing. They'll work. Yes, it's a tank, but getting hit by one of these is a daily. Consider that. I would not want to get hit by this, but I also don't want to be inside if this was to get hit. The build quality is good, but it is still 60s technology. Safety, if you have kids, that's your choice if you want to put them in the back. I drive this car because I appreciate an era of a quality, classic, true German driver's car. That's what this is. Would I drive this every single day? If the weather's nice, sure. But that's not what I own this car. I appreciate this car for its own attributes in a 60s sedan. There are other great cars, but if you are in the market for a 108, like I said, rust, mechanical fuel injection or carbureted, make sure you find a good mechanic. Obviously learn some mechanicals on your own if you can do all the work your own. There's tons of information, write-ups on stuff to do, any of that stuff. But really, oil changes, valve adjustments, fluid changes, let it warm up. Don't drive the piss out of it. These are vintage cars. They like to be driven. They don't like to sit. They like to be driven. So consider that as well. I drive this all the time and when I can, and that is also contributed to longevity. These do not like to sit. No car wants to sit. Drive them. Besides that, if you are looking for a 108, you got any questions about a 108, by all means, shoot me a message, ask. And like I said, it's been a while since I've done a video on one of these. It was overdue. I'll do some more videos on it, but I figured why not do a video on the reliability of one of these. And truly, they're incredibly reliable. They're easy to work on, and they always put a smile on your face. Every time I drive this car, I smile because it's just one of those cars that makes you appreciate how a car should drive. Thanks for watching. Have a great weekend.